Hello, I'm Monteferio Cristo, everyone's favourite rat folk, and you're listening to Northbeach Police Confidential. Previously on the gavel, the mysterious Lieutenant Inspector Bowcarvey offered Lieutenant Felkie a very expensive crystal ball if he and his crew could find a lost police officer in Heartwood, the saucy red light district. They may find more there than they need. This week, the cadre follow the trail of a broken heart, a broken bat, and a broken promise to the depths of Undertown, and learn more about themselves and each other in the face of orgies, polygamous, and intrigue. Join me now, all heroes, and me, as we assemble to hammer out our plan to save the day again.
You're in the red light district. All the trees are red. Ruby red, not, redwood red. No one walks on the ground here. The ground's too treacherous, so they cover it in poinsettias. So there's this kind of low canopy of leaves over it. Once again, no dress code. You see everything from people fully dressed to people wearing nothing but shoes to people, like they have bars with swings. Everything's all hanging out here. You guys have options how you want to appear. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Some of you come here to go topless, I know it, and I'm sure Eurus has a special relationship with this place.
Well.
But to put you back in the game, you're in the wine bar, Bitchin' Wine, and you are discussing finding a lost police officer who took some vacation time to play Big Bat and did not come back and is resisting attempts to divine her location with a crystal ball, which should be impossible.
Okay, so what was her... I understand she's a police officer. What was her, because we all have other skills, was she a spellcaster?
She was a qualified combatant.
Okay.
She's a dwarf.
Gotcha.
Not a spellcaster, but one of the martial
Does she have a
classes.
sick beard? I'm sorry, this is very important. Yes.
No,
No.
I never liked the idea that the females had beards, but in this city, if you want a beard, you can have one, probably for about 25 North Bucks. If you want to swap your gender at North Beach, I think that spell is 250 North Bucks. And do you want to do it for an afternoon or the rest of your life? If you want to be purple, that's pretty cheap. If you want you want your hair back, that's no problem. You want your hair color changed permanently. You want your eyes to glow. What do you want? I mean, do you want to be changed into an inanimate object? You could do that. And this is where you go to do that.
You too can be a toilet. Your head is a hell of a drug.
Wow, so I was thinking you could be like an armchair and have someone sit on you.
And then somebody goes,
Make us right for the toilet humor.
Don't shame me.
Oh fuck, I messed that up. What is that? How does sit on my face and tell me that you love me? What's that?
Yeah.
Monty Python, sit on my face and tell me that you love me. I'll sit on your face and tell you I love you too. I love to hear you oralize when I'm between your thighs. You pull me away, sit on my face and let my lips embrace you. I'll sit on your face and I'll tell you I love you truly. Life can be fine if we both 69 and sit on our faces. Lots of places, then we'll be blown away.
Nope.
That was the whole song. I remembered it. So I keep trying to hand it back to you. So, Judge, you're the last person to show up to this. I'm curious to see, like, you've lived in North Beach and traveled a long time. You're from here, but you've probably been here. And with your stressful life, you don't have to answer out loud, but I want you to think how long it's been. I want you to think about how long it's been. That is all. How do you approach Heartwood? Do you approach it on foot or through the Hex Station?
She probably walked.
You walk through Sauvignon. That's another kind of a party zone, but it's a little more, that's kind of a fashion district. And soldiers can get away with a lot if they just maintain decorum, but Section 9 is called here a lot because Fleet Week and, graduation and soldiers getting drunk and getting beer muscles. You know what I mean? So you walk through there. It's a pleasant walk. It's, a lot of lights, a lot of happy people, a lot of police. Therefore, you get a lot of respect. And then you hit the border and it's like a different place. The boardwalk literally changes color to red on the border, just to let you know what you're doing. There are guard checkpoints to stop people and go, you know what you're getting into, right? Let's see your cards. And you go up there and they're like, good evening, Your Honor.
Good evening.
It would be hard for you to go anywhere without an escort, but I will say that you can leave the escort at the door in Hardwood because you're going to go be with your police.
Given that she probably still carries a crossbow, she feels
yeah.
perfectly okay to leave her escort.
Can my first mate be her escort?
Sure. Oh, yes. Okay. This is where I leave you, Your Honor. I will be back at the appointed time.
Thank you.
He salutes. It has been an honor to be in your presence. Please, goodbye. And he turns. Wow, that guy's fucking insane.
Seems to be a common theme.
Aren't we all? I mean, I thought that was a prerequisite.
It's
You're
like
about-
Alice in Wonderland. We're all mad here.
Anyway, moving on.
You're 3 levels above ground. You're on like a boardwalk above 2 other boardwalks.
Are we 3 doors down?
Yes. And you are looking for, let's see, there's
We're 3 floors down.
there's Bottlenose, there's Naked Aggression, let's see, the Spotted Tiger, oh there it is,
We used.
Black Male, White Male, Purple Male, Chain Male, Chain Female, Still Don't, let's see. Oh, there it is, Bitch and Wine. You ever see the stocks at the Ren Fair?
As in the ones that are set up.
Have I ever seen the stocks at the Red Fair?
The wooden one?
Have you ever locked up dead in the stocks at the Ren Fair?
Okay, for my listeners, I was a Ren Fair attendee for about 12 years running.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I'm just getting her to think about it because, oh, that's out there.
Yeah.
But they're not criminals in them. They're volunteers, and, stuff is just going on. And as long as you don't fall off the boardwalk or get in the way, the problem comes when the halflings and gnomes decide to be rebellious and run off into the rest of the city and try to have orgies in public there. And the police are like, that's great, you're frightening the children, you have to go back.
Especially when they're invisible.
Yeah, and you recently tried a case of where they had an invisible orgy in Blanche, which is your hometown. And you probably are still thinking about what kind of message they were sending and if any of those people are going to recognize you in there. I'll say you have your limbless crossbow hanging off one shoulder like your purse. You hold it like a purse, but it's an assault bow. Nobody fucks with you. You've got the closest thing to a gun you can have in this city.
They're welcome to try.
Oh yeah, even at melee range, you just still shoot them perfectly, and then you can smite the guilty, and then that'd be, sad for them. I need to know if you, just out of curiosity, do you have a thumper or a poker loaded, or like a screamer or something?
Oh, a thumper. Blunt.
Thumper, all right. Yeah, you probably have like this bandolier of crossbow bolts just hanging off your hip or something, gung-ho, semper fi. You walk into this establishment, a couple of soldiers kind of cringe and look away, but you see your team over there, and Felkie is like standing on the table.
So then I said, that's not a card, that's my mother.
I hate that joke.
I know, right? It's a terrible joke.
Bloody horrible.
It's about in every dimension I've gone to.
There's a sign on the wall that says no degradancy.
Shouldn't that word be bleeped out?
No. The word degradation is not the bad word. It is a
Why
bad
are you
word,
saying
it's
it?
not the bad word.
And again, you don't understand the delicacy of this.
What's your bloody language? We're in a red light district, not a garbage dump.
Speak for yourself.
Oh yes, it's infested with rats, is it?
I'm just ribbing you.
And they're the honorable
okay,
ones.
So,
No, that's the honorable one. Hey, Judge, how you going?
a bard takes the stage and he says,
Oh, please no.
I walked into a bar and I asked the bartender, I want 10 drinks on the bar right now. He was like, okay. And I drank them all and I was real fucked up. And I'm like, oh my God. He goes, that's what you get for drinking like that. I said, you drink like I did if you had what I got. What do you got? $1.
That was bad and you should feel bad.
Auntie turns to Bombini. He's like,
The music scene in Northbeach has been utterly ruined.
I see that.
It started out with the best of intentions, and then someone made an invention that would allow people unable to speak to have a voice. It allowed them to produce any sound that came to their minds. And then musicians started using it. And then any idiot who'd ever heard a song could make music. And so it ruined the seriousness of the music industry. Now all that's taken seriously is stand-up.
And now we have Bumble Rap.
Now we have jokes.
The judge approaches.
All rise. Your Honourable Judge Grimmadine. How are we this evening, Your Honour?
Cheers, Your Honor.
Cheers. I think we can survive not standing on formality tonight. It's just Grim.
Oh, good. And Blick is gonna kind of undo like the top 3 buttons of his uniform. Okay, so Your Honor, I was just filling the rest of the crew in with some of the details. We got a missing persons we need to find out. Turns out it's one of our police officers down here in Undertown. Took some vacation, never came back, and is avoiding detection, which we don't know how, and we need to find out. And there's a crystal ball on the line if we get this taken care of. So let's get this taken care of.
Now, hang on a second. Hang on. Lenny's got a question here.
Who are you asking?
Are you talking in third person, or are you saying that out of character? Because it's hard to tell.
Maybe a little bit of both, because Lenny's had a few beers. So,
God.
Love it.
What's your constitution score?
9, but I am immune to poison. I'm immune to diseases, not poison, and I have a constitution of 9. So, look.
Really?
Yeah, I know. Look. Just let me just take another drink, and I'll speak better. Hold on. So,
That's not how that works.
Bombini, on your way through here, you ran into somebody selling flowers. They're not expensive, but they're more expensive than a flower should be. And you see these people taking these flowers and breaking the end off and popping it in their mouths and chewing it. And this person, he's an elf whose skin is purple. And he says, "Oh, flower for the bee, yes?
Can't deny a flower.
5 Northbucks."
I hand him 5 Northbucks.
He hands you the flower. He says, "To you, I will toast." And he holds the flower up. He says, "First time?
Yes.
There's the pollen and the stem. Together now. 1, 2, 3." He puts the flowers to his nose. His pupils dilate. And if you do the same, you suddenly are like, "Oh, man." Dude. Whoa, pollen, man. And I'm a bee. That's so funny. I never thought of that. Oh, I'm just bumbling around. And and then it goes away. How was that?
That was interesting.
Now, if you chew the end, it lasts longer, but doesn't hit you so hard. That's why you see people walking around with them hanging out of their mouths.
Ah.
If it doesn't work out, if you don't like it, come back and I'll refund you. But I know you'll be back, and you won't be here for a refund.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, great. Let's get our bee hooked on pollen.
Yep.
She's already hooked on pollen. I mean, she's got this flower hanging out of her mouth. She's looking more at home every day.
I get a feeling like that's a homeschooling program for bees.
Yeah, maybe. So, here's the question I have. This police officer who has gone missing in action, when are they due back?
They were due back, what, 3 days ago, Monty? I'm not
4 by now.
4 days ago? Yeah. They took a week's vacation to go participate in the Big Back tournament. We have witnesses putting them there the first half, I believe, of the tournament, and then noticeably absent for the second half.
And are we sure that they didn't just quit their job?
Yes. Yes, we are.
I need to ask that question.
Right. If you need to get more personal information, we can go talk to Inspector Bocard if you like, but we've got most of the file here.
So halfway through the Big Bet tournament, how are they doing in the Big Bet tournament? I think that's an appropriate question.
We don't have any data on how she did in the tournament, but she was no titan in the sport.
Okay, but was she doing better than her normal?
We don't know. We'll have to question them.
All right.
The other thing is, there's been no reports of an officer down. We haven't found any bodies. So she either disappeared from everything,
Right.
or she is choosing not to be found.
Or portals.
See, the crystal ball would still be able to see her, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not really the scrying type. That ain't really my bag, but as I understand it, those things are pretty wicked strong.
If there was a portal, I'm pretty sure the TP8 would have known.
That's a fair assessment.
Yeah, that is a fair assessment, yeah.
Level 2-ish urban barbarian.
Well, now, hang on. Barbarians are naturally anti-magic, so that could explain why the efforts to scry upon her are...
But she's level 2, and Inspector Bokavi is exceptionally good at his job.
Did she have enough money to pay somebody to shield her from scrying?
Possible?
It's a possibility.
Is she married?
That's no.
No, she is not.
No, she's not. No partner.
Is the tournament still there, or is there like an after party or anything like that where we can question people that were there?
What we can do is speak to her team.
That's fine, but I'd like to talk to the people that saw her there too.
You could find people who were at the tournament.
There's, of course, going to be some kind of registration for that kind of tournament, for the purpose of actually being able to award points and give that kind of thing and keep track of who is and is not participating. So, if we can perhaps find that registration and question those people, but that's going to take some footwork.
I won't make you do it too much. If you want to roll investigation checks, I'll say that takes time, but I won't make you struggle.
Okay.
Looking at her certifications and her cards, there's nothing really here that is outstanding. Been on the force a long time, but
Not gaining
But yeah,
character
so-
levels doesn't mean that someone's not doing well in their career. Just not everyone. I mean, theoretically, what it would take to be a barbarian or a monk would be training every day, like all the time. Like when you're not adventuring, you're working out, you're practicing. You are totally in that, and that's why people come here and settle down, because it's like, oh God, I don't have
So,
to do that anymore.
She wasn't
So,
about that
the-
Fitspo life. She was more about that like Netflix and chill on the couch life.
A little more like that.
outside of work. Got it.
A little more like that, because you can still go to school and become really powerful, and if you keep pursuing it, like you guys, one of the undertones of this campaign is you guys work insanely hard. Some of you are tempted to go for the 24-hour life where you take meds where you don't sleep. You guys are busy, especially the judge. She has 3 kids.
So Brother Lenny rolled a 30.
Oh, God!
All right, for a 30, I'll say that you knew, like, oh, we'll talk to the papas. Oh, yeah, I know them. They're these really old guys that were great back in the day that mentor the new kids and try to get them to form teams, because the weird thing about Northbeach is, for all of its party mentality, most of the games are not team sports. They're a little more like a game of Baccarat or a home run derby where everyone gets up, takes a swing, and then sits down, and then we see who did the best. It's a little more like the Olympics than baseball. But they do form teams based on where they are, and they form teams to practice. And you immediately find some police, and you go to the aperitifling, and you run into these guys, and they're like, oh, hey, sit down, what's going on? Oh, you're looking for
Lulu.
Oh, yeah, Lulu. God, that was crazy, right? She was on fire until, yeah, that was a shame. I don't know how she did it.
Wait.
Until what?
That was a shame because she disappeared?
No, she got a foul, man.
Huh.
Foul? How do you foul in Big Bad?
Either break the bat or the ball, or you drill the pitcher.
Did she drill somebody?
Yeah.
She broke her bat.
Okay.
She broke it in twain.
Okay.
It was made of ironwood.
So.
All right.
So she got a nice lucky hit.
That's not luck. The force it would take to do that, we never found the app. In fact, we didn't even find the end of the bat.
Huh. Interesting.
It was after that she disappeared.
So, do you still happen to have the bat?
Her end of the bat? No, she still has it.
Either end of anything.
Huh.
Right. There was another end of it,
Okay.
right?
Oh, it went off into the water. It could be anywhere.
Just wanted to make sure both pieces were accounted for.
Did anyone
Or,
happen
well, I
to
guess
take-
unaccounted for in this case.
They're not accounted for technically. Like, one is still in the possession of the one missing, and the other one, they don't know where it went.
I wanted to confirm their absence is what I actually meant to say.
Well,
Did anyone happen to take a particular interest in the fact that
Yes.
she broke her bat?
Yeah, I wagered somebody would have.
Well, everyone did.
Yeah.
She was enthusiastic. She loved the sport, but she wasn't built for it. She didn't have, it's really a sad thing how much you can buy in this sport.
You're saying she was doping?
No, I'm saying she didn't have access to the materials it would take to build a bat that was magical.
Be able
So
to
she had
break-
a substandard bat. Is that what you're saying?
I mean, she had a good bat. It shouldn't have broken ironwood. I mean, it was ballistrian ironwood, I thought.
be able to break ironwood is insane. Like that's not normal.
I'd like to go find that bat. I think that's important.
All right.
Does anybody have a
I'll say that.
Harry Potter that and just cast a spell and have it come here? That'd be nice.
Yes, just no. We have hex stations. We'll say it takes. It takes him an hour. He goes off. Just roll me a search check. If you roll high enough, I'll say you got it, and then we'll resume. Or something else like it. You just go swim around where they said until.
Okay.
Does everybody know what a tetsubo is?
Yes, it's a
Ah,
long.
we use them on the
Okay.
wall!
I was gonna say that's.
I rolled a
that's-
21
yeah.
on my search.
Are you aquatic?
Not you.
It's a long sword,
All right, you
right?
can-
Like really, really long.
Your constitution is 9. You can't dive.
Okay.
Yeah, let Blick do it. He's all right. You also understand the possibility that someone may have found it. So I want you to roll a search check and an investigation check.
Okay, so I'm gonna use survival to with my.
That's a bold move, Cotton.
Yeah,
okay,
I'll take
so
that.
That's gonna be a plus 10. That's a natural 20.
Nice.
Ooh.
Boom.
Right around
Natural 20.
it, and it.
What?
Okay, no, all right. You go down there. You don't find a broken bat in a shoal. Like you kind of
Shoal, you said.
dive down. You're kind of diving down there, and you kind of push the sand off of a whole bat, and you pull it out of where it's kind of lodged itself. On like the waves have finally revealed it again. Oh, this one's expensive. And since you rolled a 20, you find the name on it, Saigon Charybdis.
Oh, wait,
Saigon
what?
Charybdis.
Wait, what?
Like our Charybdis?
Yeah, that's him.
Okay. While I'm down here, I don't suppose my tattoo has any kind of tingle, does it?
You have not seen hide nor hair of the goddess Tefnut since the firefight.
Wow.
Well, shit.
Your tattoos haven't, disappeared, but you have not seen Tefnut, and Monty has not been able to cast divine spells, so he might have to change his specialty again.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, so you find a bat. It's a good bat, and it's got, what's that? It's got some mithril in it, to
Right.
keep it light. Someone who knew what they were doing made this bat or bought this bat.
I've got a strength of 8. I'm not a big bad player.
You can drag it. This one's actually like it's not super heavy. You can drag it behind you, but you don't find the broken end of the bat. Now roll me an investigation check to ask around about it.
Okay.
Or something.
Okay, so we're just gonna go ahead and we're just gonna roll straight profession. Yeah, we're just gonna do straight profession.
You can use profession. Yeah, to do profession.
That's an 11 for 21.
You actually walk up to a couple of dudes, with surfer hair. They've got bats over their shoulders, and you're like, "Have you seen?" And one of them's like, "Oh yeah, come with me, man." And he takes you to a tent, and they're selling, bathing suits and hats. Hey, show him the end, man. And the guy behind he kind of like, oh. Yeah, check it out. He takes this split bat. It's been violently splintered off of another end. It's sharp and scary. It doesn't
Right.
break like iron. It's almost kind of horrifying the way he's lucky it didn't kill somebody flying
Gotcha.
around like that.
And
the forces at work here must be astronomical. And they're like, so, where'd you get that bat, Mr. Charybdis? Can you even swing that?
you'd be surprised.
I bet I would, man. I bet he's a good dude, man. You should come out here
Anyway,
more.
so question.
Yeah.
You see this Lulu character that broke the bat? You know what happened to her?
Lately, no, but everyone wanted to know, And we didn't see her, but, people kind of looked into her. And the word is she wasn't who she said she was.
You got anything better than just a rumor, though?
The way they said it made it sound like it was more not what she said she was. Not her name was wrong. She's from some gnarly alternate dimension, dude.
Oh, shit.
It's really out there, and we anyone can play big bad, and we that's what's great. You don't need to know anything to play it, but
Right. So that's
she
just
loved it.
that is just a rumor, though. So I'm gonna need something a little more than a rumor.
A rumor's not a rumor that doesn't die, man.
That's a 10 for 23 for intimidate.
Why are you intimidating him?
Because
He's
he doesn't quite. You know what? No. You know what? Let's swap that to a sense motive, which would be 13.
You're not talking to a agent provocateur. You're talking to a surfer and a big bat player. So, yeah, you're talking to a civilian.
Gotcha. Okay. What about what about the pitcher? Who was pitching that day?
Oh, that was Inspector Romandine. He's a gnarly dude. He works in applesauce.
Thanks, sir. You've been great. Take my leave. Y'all have a wonderful day.
You too, man. Hey, you ever want to sell that bat?
It's
Oh my God.
it's special.
So you drag this through town. You drag it all the way to the hex station. You come back. You come back to
Get to the hex station. Too small, please.
whatever. It's actually big enough that they're like, yeah, 2 occupants. Boink. and you drag this through Heartwood, and it bumps on the boardwalks. It boom, drag, and you get back to Bitch and Wine, wherever your staging area is at this point. Oh yeah, they went to a Paratiefling. You show up back at a Paratiefling. It wasn't too long because we have teleportation now, and you guys see Felkie walk in with a really huge club. For those of you of martial class, it looks like a tetsubo, which is a samurai weapon that's a big club with rivets on it. Metal
I
rivets
got it
on
confused
Yeah.
with the long one.
Also called a...
Urana?
It's got a kanabo or something.
It was one of the
What the
bows.
bloody hell is that?
Yes.
You may want to talk to your counselor.
Oh?
I'll drag the fucking Tetsubo thing over to her and just show her the name on it.
His name is engraved in it, not just like written on it.
We got questions.
Interesting.
We've got answers.
And do you have any other leads on the missing people?
Yes, we do, actually.
Do any of you have an understanding of Big Bat or sports? No, I didn't think so. All right,
We're
nor did the last
fucking
team.
nerds.
It was a huge shame. I'm like, it's Big Bat season. Which of your characters love sports? None of us. Okay.
Sorry, man.
I keep trying to convince him not that Big Bat just won't happen, but
I know it won't, but like this is not making them play Big Bat. This is finding a Big Bat fan, and yeah.
I mean, Bombini is new to Northbeach, so it's possible that with time she will grow to love Big Bat.
okay, someone's going for DM's pet.
Sucking up to the DM.
What's your dexterity, Bombini?
16.
You know, if you could figure out a crossbow, you'd be a fantastic marksman, and shooting a stinger at somebody is a concept you can get behind.
Oh.
And you've been hanging around. They've got these little hand crossbows that you could put in a purse, but are fed with a magazine, so you could like shoot at.
I love the aggression in that. It's like, oh, you can put
it's
it in
fun.
a purse, but it's fed with a magazine.
I want
yeah.
Maybe you've realized that the subtext here is that everyone thinks the problem is gunpowder in this city, when the truth is it's the proliferation of weapons. Everyone is armed.
It works just
So,
fine for us here in America.
Yeah, about that.
Yeah, so I would think that Bombini might get more into competition shooting, which is also big here, but if she wanted to play Big Bat, there'd be no reason she couldn't.
I mean, I probably could because I've got a lot of strength too.
She'd be more likely the type to play Big Butt.
Speaking of Bombini. I need you to look at something for me.
The optics on this situation are not the best. Like, just saying.
He's dragging a black bag that says evidence on it.
Is it evidence?
Oh,
It is
it is.
evidence.
What is it evidence of?
Is there a body in it?
So, so apparently this is the portion of this officer's bat. Apparently it broke. Did you guys hear? This is the first time I'm hearing about this.
What do you mean it's the first time you're hearing about this?
I was like in the fucking drink pulling this thing out of the fucking water. What the hell were you guys doing? You guys clearly moved. You're in a completely different spot. So clearly you're doing something different than I am.
Why did you go to the water if you weren't there when they told them the bat broke?
You're absolutely fucking right.
Oh, now the DM
Cut
gets a cookie.
DM gets a
Now
cookie.
I get
Yeah.
a cookie. I can hand wave this. Felkie has a flower hanging out of his mouth.
Because cigars don't last underwater.
Right.
So yeah, this is the other half of this bat.
It's splintered, it's sharp, and it's inflexible. It's sturdy. Like, you could make a fine melee weapon with it. Looks like a murder weapon that you would keep in the locker and never look at again. You could just touch the end and your finger would bleed. Scary.
So having been in the water for however many days did not remotely affect this wood.
No, not this.
But it still would, and I was hoping that of all of the people here, and not having any fans of Big Bat on the team,
Especially considering it's ironwood from Ballistria.
we could have somebody who's familiar with, that, has a certain knowledge of nature.
Or knowledge local.
Take a look at this.
Oh, knowledge note, yeah.
So
Well, it's not local because
No,
it's
it's nature.
Ballistrian
Yeah,
ironwood.
yeah.
I'm good with rolling knowledge nature. I have 11 in knowledge nature, so I'll do that.
Go ahead.
You know nature.
21.
There are grades of ironwood. This is good, but it's no steel wood. And you know, they've got that Titanwood now, but the cost of ironwood's kind of going down a little bit, but that doesn't take away from the durability
Is there like a knot at the end of it?
No, but you can see the dent in the part. You can see a gash where the apple hit. You know that its cost doesn't take away from the fact that sometimes people feed plant food to it to get it to grow bigger, but that takes away stability. That wasn't done here. It's not cheap shit, and there's not a flaw in it that did this, which means that the forces it took to do that are like, wait, you're sure a dwarf did this and not a giant? Yeah, it's based. They call it ironwood because
I'm with you, Moises.
Is it a big man made short man, condensed person?
You would have to investigate that.
There's nothing about this bat that would make it break easily. This had to have been a lot of force delivered from whoever was swinging it that caused it to break.
Anybody here want to take a look and see if maybe there was some kind of magical force, amplified force or something that may have acted on this thing? Because that totally is not my shtick.
I think I could do detect magic, maybe. Let's see. I don't have my stuff open because I'm an irresponsible player. Let's see.
The more you know.
Do you have spellcraft?
It's not in there.
Oh, hey, I actually put detect magic on my sheet today.
Boink, no magic.
Is it poison?
Nope.
Is it poison? I don't normally do that, but I didn't know what spells to prepare today that weren't aggressive. So detect magic, I'm like, yep, that's pacifistic.
You're an Inquisitor, so you're holding your hands over it, and normally the spell would shine this light that would be like a black light and show magical runes or, inlay or something. You're not getting anything except a faint handprint, like something magical touched it.
How big of a hand?
It would be roughly the size of a dwarf's.
Mm-hmm.
Looks about the size it should be, but you have no idea what her actual hand size is, and that's not something they record because not all cops have hands.
But were her fingerprints ever taken? Ordinarily, cops are fingerprinted.
Yeah, but you don't get magical fingerprints. You're not getting you're not going to get a fingerprint read off of detect magic. Who would be able to understand this? We don't have anyone from the library. We don't have teleport authority might.
Mm-hmm.
What would the judge be able to do? God, there's just a gap in the knowledge here. None of you...
So, while we are fumbling around, I do want to go ahead and fill you guys in on some of the other information I gathered while I was out collecting this thing. Apparently, there was... I talked to the people who found this. There's a couple of surfer bums down there by the beach. Said that the sergeant for the team was pitching for all the cops that day. So maybe we talk to him, get his read on things, and then she just disappeared. There's also some rumor floating around. Apparently it's very persistent. A lot of people are starting to believe this, that she wasn't what she said she was. And we kind of had that feeling, but we didn't really have any concrete evidence. And if I'm getting the kind of vibe off yous guys as I think I'm getting, there might be some merit to that.
And let's stop here. Everyone go take a potty break and whatever else you do in the dark, and we'll be right back. I'll have a new link up in the chat any second.
Furious masturbation. Damn it! Yes, it is. It should be. Oh yeah, no, it's totally in there. It's totally in there.
We resume. You guys are looking at the bat. It's this piece of wood it's been painted red, but the wood itself is...
This is the broken one, correct?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It would probably look... what would that look like? It might look like... Wouldn't look like normal wood. It'd look almost like it was some kind of crystal, like minerals got in...
Maybe like splintered, like iron
I'm
bars.
trying to think of, kind of... It's splinters like wood, but the coloration of it... I always imagine ironwood is green for some reason. I don't know why, but it's been painted red.
I always think gray.
I always think of black because black iron and my soul.
This is green ironwood. There is black ironwood. There's gray ironwood. This is green ironwood. It's been painted red because there's no such thing as red ironwood. I mean, yeah, you could be sitting on a gold mine. What do you guys like drinking? What are you drinking in character? Like, Bombini has a flower and seems pretty happy with that.
Yep.
I don't know. Some
You
weird-
just walked in, so you can have what you want. You just walked in, but
Had some weird time drink.
oh, I know. You know, Goldschlager?
Oh, God.
Oh yeah.
Ew.
It's that with flakes of astral drift metal.
Eurus is drinking the North Beach equivalent to ginger ale.
Blood of her enemies.
Yeah. Rider's tears.
And, also, Eurus is a dude today.
This happens sometimes. She's doing the Loki
What'd you
thing.
break?
So you're
Job
like
opening.
so you're like an incubus now, right?
Wait,
Yeah.
hang on, man.
I dropped my taking notes pen and it rolled under the table and I needed to go get it, sorry.
Man down.
See,
Before the bird gets
is-
it.
This
Oh, the
is
bird's
why
taking
this is why I have a notepad open
Mhm.
on my computer.
Yeah. My keyboard's really loud though. Like real loud.
You're dealing with a creature that can summon enough force to break ironwood
Mm-hmm.
and has not shown this kind of propensity up until now.
Is she a
I'm gonna forget I heard that. But no, it's probably like I'm trying to figure out who would have the expertise to understand this. There's some like something powerful touched it and got like magic on it, but didn't cast a spell on it, and it there's no magic in it.
Well, if you
The other bat you have,
use detect magic, wouldn't you be able to detect the traces of magic that were left on it?
yeah, you found a handprint.
just the handprint? Yeah. Oops.
Like more information on that besides just the handprint?
I'm trying to think of how you'd get that, like how you decode that kind of magic and who would have that expertise.
I go take it to my friends at the Inquisition. I'm sure they can figure it out.
Oh, all right. There's a local chapter there, and it's like it's all gothy and shit, and you bring it in.
But it's white. It's like everything goth, just white.
Oh yeah, white. What do they call that? Snow goth?
I don't know what the actual like official term is for it, but that was always how I did goths since I'm so pale.
You get in there, and sitting behind a desk is a woman who's like wearing she's like it's like a strapless like vest, and she's got like white hair over one eye, and she goes, "Oh, it's you. I thought I smelled disease."
Hey,
You know Officer Alsastro. Officer Alsastro is an Erinyes, and we get the cats and dogs problem. What do you want?
you better watch your face.
Or you'll what?
Sit on it.
Not for free, I can tell you that. And if you ever want to have a contest,
I mean, it is hardwood, and everything here has a price.
what is that thing?
I was hoping you guys could give me a person who could give me some additional information,
We're busy. Why should we put you ahead?
because I'm me.
And why else?
That is enough.
Turn on the charm. That's a pacifistic spell.
No.
Give it here.
I hand it over.
She glares at you as she grabs a pair of glasses and puts them on. They're gold and like round rims, and she takes a look at it and rolls it over, and she looks at where the handprint is, and she writes some stuff down, and she spritzes it with something and smells it. Is this a practical joke?
Nope.
You think this is some kind of game that I have nothing else to do with my time?
Well, I mean, Big Bat is in fact a game, but
You expect me to believe a dragon left this handprint?
Excuse me?
a dragon?
This is dragon magic.
It was a dwarf, we thought.
Sure it was.
Well, yeah, the fact that, the dwarf launched a apple out of the stratosphere is indicative of the fact that they weren't actually a dwarf, but, dragon wasn't my first inclination.
So you can put two and two together, Inquisitor General. They're wrong what they say about you.
I don't care what they say about me. Your attempts to bait me are going to fail.
Bait you? I'm trying to get you to leave. Is there anything else you need?
No, I believe that'll be all.
Actually, I need an application for what's I don't know how the process of registering a new religion is here.
Are you starting a cult?
No, what fuck?
Are you starting a sex cult? A goblin sexy goblin sex cult?
Someone
I
cue cult of
appreciate-
personality.
SGSC, sexy goblin sex cult.
I appreciate the flattery, Eurus. I really do. This is actually a serious matter. Okay.
I go into incubus form to give you a chance.
Ooh.
Oh. Application, please.
Hers or mine?
Let's see your cards. She pulls out a stamp. Deity name.
It's not for me. It's not for me.
You can't register someone else into a religion.
You're damn right, but I need to get this to somebody who actually worships the deity that is no longer
Well, they have to come here and apply for it themselves.
For
It
fuck's-
doesn't exist. You're not going to get a license for a religion that doesn't exist. Are you insane? We can check now.
What if it doesn't exist, Red?
In order for me to grant this, I have to talk to your deity with a commune spell. They have to respond immediately, or you cannot register.
Outstanding.
If they do not see fit to answer me, they do not care for your worship, and you won't get your license.
Fucking shit. You're a big help. You know that? Thank you so much. You have a wonderful day.
I'm insanely busy. Do you know what people try to do with that around here to increase the apple crop?
I just asked for a fucking application, bitch.
I have to stamp the cards of the person applying. You know how things work. You're a cop. Get this bat-winged wonder out of my office.
Oh, I like you.
Mm,
I'm gonna have fun with you later.
I don't have to like you to have fun, Goblin.
We'll see.
Don't tempt me to feed in the old way.
Don't tempt me with a good time.
It's like the opposite of a succubus. Like, I think it's with succubi are from hell and Arinyas are from the abyss, or I have it backwards, but who cares? You get the cats and dogs problem here. You and Alzastro have never gotten along. When you got promoted ahead of her, it did not get better. And the fact that both of you are powerful creatures is part of why you have to tolerate each other, because a battle between the two of you might knock down the building. So, you walk out of the Inquisition precinct.
You know what? I said that I go into incubus form to give him a chance,
Yeah.
and what I meant was like a chance to like be the pretty one of the team.
Yeah.
But I think the way it was actually perceived was me taking a pass at it.
That's how I perceive it.
How else
Either
did
way,
you
it's
think
all
we'd
right.
take
I
it?
mean, nobody's judging you.
Well, a little slow on the uptake. That was inadvertently funnier than I meant it to be, I guess.
Nobody's judging you.
Aren't you like a copulovore? Don't you have to fuck to survive? No, you don't have to do that.
No.
It's you do it to get like it's a level drain thing technically, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, level drain. That's something I'll never do to my players. That's a good way to lose everyone. Hi, you have to walk around with negative levels until you spend 10,000 North bucks.
God.
Yeah. Oh, Baldur's Gate was merciless. Vampires, fuck them.
Don't remind me.
Yeah. Ugh, it was horrible. So
I spent enough of my childhood, early adulthood on Baldur's Gate.
So you find yourselves out in public in apartments, and you walk out of there. There's like an even group of men and women, and they're all wearing the same, not uniform, but they're dressed. They're dressed kind of provocatively, but very well.
Okay.
They look like the Mean Girls.
Are you Saoirse Grimmadine? You are, aren't you? Who could mistake that bearing?
Yes, I'm Judge Advocate General Saoirse Grimmadine. What can I do for you?
It's what we can do for you.
She quirks an eyebrow. Elaborate?
You lost your husband in the war, didn't you?
Yes, Seamus died in the Battle of Matchsticks.
And you've been alone since then.
Not entirely alone, but no, I haven't had any romantic liaisons, if that's what you're referring to.
Is that by choice?
I have multiple young children, and I'm the Judge Advocate General. As much by choice as it is by lack of time.
That must be difficult by yourself.
It is what it is,
One of these women, from her bra, of course, pulls
of course.
a red envelope. And she says, when that becomes too much, maybe you should come to us. And she hands you the envelope.
Who are you exactly?
We're the Devereaux family. Everyone roll knowledge local or profession, even the judge.
Local
I got an
is,
18 on profession.
+2, so it'd be a +5. 1.
I mean, I don't think my apiarist profession would tell me much about this.
No. You have no idea who these people are or what's going on.
I rolled a 27.
Seriously, don't have knowledge local? How do I not have knowledge local?
Oh, Lenny knows exactly who these people are.
Oh, really?
I rolled a 14. Is history relevant, maybe?
Yes, you and Lenny go,
Okay.
aha. These are not criminals. They're not quite a noble house. They're a house of polygamists.
Okay.
It is a plural marriage cult, and they're like all married to each other.
Okay.
And they've given the judge a red envelope, and they turn and they fade back into the city towards where their house is, which is not far from here.
But are they hot?
Some of them are, yeah. Like, in fact, most of them are. They're dressed very, like their clothes are very.
I'm gonna open the envelope.
It's an invitation.
Two.
Something that seems to happen once a week. You're smart enough to know that they're being polite here, but if it's not an orgy, it is within 2 degrees of separation from it. They're probably going to try to seduce you to marry in. Why would you do that? A lot of reasons to increase your power.
They're funny.
GM, would Blick be familiar with this practice, with the amount of time that he spends in Heart?
Yeah, they're not even the only family that does that. In fact, you might get competing offers. Like, some people...
Interesting.
I'm like, how good are the offers?
Well, the Devereaux are pretty famous. It's not so much a cult as a clique.
Are they of a certain race, or are they multiracial, or what's the deal with that?
They're mostly humanoids.
They've all got
but
compatible parts, you know.
the thing is, though, if you're compatible with 1 or 2 of them, well, at least 2 of them, that's enough. But yeah, plural marriage is not unknown at all in Northbeach, and it tends to be like shooed into Heartwood, which is a fine place to keep it.
Would Blick be familiar with their elf density?
You could give it about 1 in 6. About 1 in 6, which is, there's a few of them in there. And, elves know what they're doing in bed because they've lived for hundreds of years. They have a terribly unfair advantage. They really do. Just like Eurus does. Eurus is not only a demon who uses seduction to get what she wants, but she's also been around long enough to have read all the books and seen all the movies, if you know what I mean. So if she had wanted to, she could have made more money.
Yeah, I think I'll pass.
They didn't invite you.
I love the assumption.
Is there like a trash receptacle anywhere?
Hey, I'm not even subtle about that.
They are barking up the wrong tree.
Hey,
Ouch.
can you throw this up your asshole on the way out? I don't want it, friends.
Yeah, let me just, pot the cheeks and open the fucking goblin space.
That goblin
I like the
snake.
Mind Palace just better.
Blick, I love you, but I never want to hear that sentence again.
Oh no. Oh no. Watch this
So when
be
this
the
is
one part of
animated.
our- Yeah, watch this be the one part of our podcast that people want merch about is the fucking goblin anus pocket.
My biggest fear is that the effort I put into sound effects goes nowhere, but the amount of sex in the podcast tends to be directly proportionate to how our listeners are, and then we're one of those X-rated podcasts, and we can't take ourselves seriously anymore.
I don't think we'd ever
Unless-
be
I don't think we
X-rated,
take
but-
ourselves seriously anyway.
No, you're right.
Yeah. Episode 2 we did, but then I was like, ooh, that was really serious, and it kind of harshed my vibe, yo.
I know.
We have
Everybody
too much
kind of afterwards was like, ooh, that was a lot.
Yeah, so I'm gonna find a trash receptacle and just drop it on it.
It says, keep your city clean, degradancy is a crime.
Fucking hate that monsters.
So you're in Heartwood. The pitcher, I said he lived in Apple Source.
Wait, the
but
picture for
I
the
don't-
polygamists or the picture for the big bat?
Oh.
The pitcher for the big bat.
Oh, if
Because,
we're talking about the picture for the polygamist, this is relevant to my interests.
well, maybe you should go try and talk to the Devereaux.
The Devereaux? No, fuck the Devereaux.
If you would have made Big Bad about like gay sex instead of sports, maybe people would have actually cared.
Maybe
Oh,
it
it's
might
sword
actually be important, and I hate to admit this. It might
I
actually.
was a dude, so I could sword fight. Like that is my like non-binary like
Anyway,
gender.
Well, this game you are a man,
thing.
so
current.
I sword fight anyone who is interested in sword fighting. Just
you could hire anyone to do that with
no, I
you.
don't hire somebody.
You could run across someone on the
Happy.
street that'd probably play bathroom swordplay with you if you wanted.
Yes.
Because it's the red light
No,
district.
I've just
If you
always
want to go
been-
around and do that, that's fine. I will
Okay,
say you've probably
so-
done this before, and it's probably not that special to you anymore. And
Fair enough. Okay.
Blick, I hate to admit it, but it might be important to establish your previous sexual proclivities in Heartwood so that we know how you would be treated around here, because it sounds like you want a very active role, and you can have it. I just need to know, like, do you have a cult? What do you got?
No, there. Okay, so So,
Or bottom.
The entry question was, do you have a cult? Like, it was not like, do you have like a harem? No, it was, do you have a cult?
That's
Right. So-
you probably do that a lot. So do you have a cult or?
Yeah, that's.
well, I will say I'm very social. I will say that I am very explorative, but I have limits.
Okay.
I choose not to partner with those of the elven background just because his personal bigotry.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to think of a better term for that, and there really isn't one.
There really isn't.
There really isn't one.
The way we play, that's something we explore. You know.
Prejudice.
We can call the spade the spade.
Yeah, the cats and dogs problem.
Yeah.
You know.
So, but yeah, for the most part, he prefers the smaller races. They don't necessarily need to be, entirely humanoid. As long as, well, let's call it this way. A hole's a hole's a hole.
Any port in a storm. Got it.
Are you a grand partier or is this like private and?
I have a little class,
Okay.
but I'm not cagey about it. I'm not necessarily super private about it, but I do have some class. We'll say that.
Okay, so you haven't like established a reputation as something as some grand terror of, lock up your daughters, here he comes. I mean,
Not yet.
but, so
Or sons.
not yet. Or yeah,
husbands. Or
Yeah,
fathers.
husband.
lock up anything that moves.
Or wives.
Oh right, we're cops. That's what we do. Okay.
Lock up your gilfs,
Oh yeah.
He really likes those grandfathers.
I mean, a hole's a hole's a hole.
Yeah, that's and as she said, any port in a storm. So drop anger and
Do you think that Blick and Eurus realistically have a relationship? Because they both probably have needs, but then also a very strong detachment and also gender flexibility.
the tradition is if you enter Heartwood separately and meet in the middle by chance, it doesn't count.
I keep my work and my personal life very separate.
Fair enough. I fully respect that decision.
So he's very professional, or tries to be very professional.
So maybe we have met up to decide, hey, I stay on this side of Heartwood, you stay on that side of Heartwood. That way we don't end up at the same party.
I mean, we could end up at the same party, but it's not like there's a professional boundary. It's like, hey, I see you over there. Yeah, you looking hot, but
What's up?
yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. Quick.
Not surprised to see you here,
Right?
but
Our social circles intercept.
Yes.
But we don't necessarily, intercept. We'll just say that.
very well. Okay.
10 minutes later.
Kind of outside, you've probably found a place to, like those places at the Ren Fair people stop to drink with their beer, just somewhere like people are sitting down and you're having this conversation about, all right, well, here's what we know. The big bat pitcher, the DM doesn't want us to travel to Applesauce, so he's going to make the guy travel here so we can question him. And then you look over and it's kind of like diddle-a-thump, 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 diddle-a-thump. It's the sound of someone limping. You see Ambassador Haihan, kind of like diddle-a-thump, diddle-a-thump. 3 of her legs still not reaching the ground, arms still in a sling, bandage still wrapped around her head.
Does she appear to be heading to the precinct?
She seems to be heading away from it.
Oh boy.
Bombini, when she sees Ambassador Haihan, she just gets this kind of revolted look on her face.
Phobia, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's a giant spider.
Oh god. That's one of your fears.
It's okay. We know this giant spider.
What a campaign to be afraid of spiders in.
Bombini, you know who this is. She's been on the boat.
Yeah.
She's been, you don't like her very much. She's kind of a bitch.
Kinda?
She would be played by Aubrey Plaza and not care about anything.
Fair.
Bombini has history with Driders, so
Yeah.
she's not a fan in general.
Do you, go after her or you just let her go?
She would not go after her, but
You wouldn't, but do any of the others go?
I think Lenny's gonna go talk to her.
Yeah, you're fast enough to catch up to a limping spider.
Yeah. What you can't see is me rolling my eyes right
Stating
now.
the obvious. 101.
You catch up to her. She hasn't seen you yet. She's still kind of hobbling down the boardwalk, and it's one of the extra wide boardwalks for large creatures. It's like a main drag.
Ambassador.
Oh, it's you.
Oh, my old friend.
What are you doing here? This isn't your jurisdiction.
No, but this is my town. And you're my old friend. How are you?
Oh, that's very sweet of you. I'm still revolting and an anathema and much hated by your town. How are you?
Oh, I think I'm doing okay. We're trying to figure out a little mystery, not that pertains to you, of course, but I saw you walking through here and I wanted to say hello, and I hope that you're healing well. And what brings you out to this part of town? Or is it the usual?
She looks kind of in the distance and says, Bo Carvey.
Oh, Carby.
Lieutenant Inspector Bo Carvey. He's a drider.
Okay.
You would also know that name from my previous thing.
Yeah, he's mentioned the name.
Okay.
Inspector Bo Carvey is like one of the more important constabulary figures in Heartwood. In fact, you'd know who he was because of that. Like, the head of Heartwood Constabulary, Lieutenant Inspector Bo Carvey.
Okay.
Powerful sorcerer. And she's like, yes, I came here to see Bo Carvey. Bastard.
Oh dear, did things not turn out the way you hoped?
They turned out the way I expected.
Sometimes those aren't the same thing, though, are they?
He won't talk to me at all. He will not speak to me. He will not let me in. He will not receive me. I have tried simply going into his office, and he has somehow known I was coming and not been there. It just leaves that pantsless gnome cleaning up his books. What a mess.
Pantsless gnome.
The cops are not required to wear pants in Heartwood, so some don't.
Right, yeah, right.
So, you know.
It just seems like it's not a particularly, wise life move, particularly if you're attached to your testicles.
Some people do, some people don't. The reason they call it a gymnasium is because gymnos means nude, because that was how the Olympics was done. So you could look through history and you can find super conservative styles of dress in places where they just went fucking naked and
Balls to the wall, literally.
balls to the wall. So that's Heartwood, and this is the place where if you can't behave yourself anywhere else, you end up here. So she's like, Bo Carvey won't talk to me. Not even now.
Perhaps I can help. What information do you need from Inspector Bo Carvey?
He's one of the only other driders besides us in this town. He's the only one I can go to try to get some understanding, to try to... You know, I first got here, and I sent for a priest from the counting house, and that asshole war priest choked him out. It was ridiculous. I can't live at peace here, and I was just hoping to try to talk to him and see how he did it, and see if he was sick of it, or if I'm just going at it incorrectly. Or maybe he's smart, and is a funnel web spider, and hides in his hole, and lets everyone else come to him. Maybe that's what I should do. It's what I was doing. Is there anything else I can do for you, Constable?
I believe I will see if I can do something for you.
Is that so?
I will speak to your brethren.
It is a question of religion.
And
He thinks I am an emissary of Loth. Now, whatever you believe, he does not want anything at all to do with Loth, or even us, those that have her stink, as he calls it. Bastard.
so, are you of Loth?
I do her books. That's what the Equitable Counting House is. There are churches in every dimension. There are priests in every country. If the economy collapses, we lose our power. It's the IRS religion.
Right. And he fears you because you are so closely connected to what some may consider a distasteful occupation?
Oh, I wish that little fly fucker feared me, or at least respected me as a fellow Dryder or a political figure. But he won't. You can talk to him, but I'm through trying now. I came to him like, look at me. Can't even climb up the trees.
Okay. Go home and work on your healing, and peace be with you on your journey.
And also with you.
God damn
Sorry,
it.
I went to Catholic school.
I know. It's so hard. It's so hard.
No, they went right back to Mass.
And the words just came out of my mouth, and I'm like, oh, I'm not even here, and that's not even
Imagine
relevant.
that.
Do we have to shake hands now?
No. No, the Catholic Church has said that coronavirus, no shaky handies.
My dad
that-
is still
no,
practically
no
Catholic, and they are not having
shake
Mass, period.
She kind of looks you up and down and she says, I would wish you peace, Constable. But you're a human and therefore mortal, and peace is coming soon. Have a good day.
Not completely human, and I believe you know that as well. Day.
Pardon me, I can only differentiate the two by taste. And she starts to walk away. Crump, crump. And she's still messed up, too. She's in bad shape.
Yeah.
I'll say that so you don't have to go to Applesauce. I should have said he just lives here, but the picture is, he's not just a beat cop, he's Inspector Romandine. Where do you want to meet him, at a precinct or a bar?
I think we need to meet him at a precinct.
Okay, a lot of the precincts here are underground.
Okay.
So as not to interfere with what's going on above ground, but Undertown Heartwood is pretty happening too. Romandine is an interesting creature. Romandine is a Lumi. Lumis are creatures from the positive energy plane that have no necks. Their heads just float above their bodies. Vorpal weapons don't work on them. They're very unusual creatures, but he's a very nice person. He shakes all of your hands and he sits down, and part of his uniform is a club tie with a big bat team, and his shako has a bill like a baseball hat.
I'm just kind of staring at the hat, wondering how it stays on his head.
What can I do for you, Your Honor?
We have some questions about Constable who went missing after the Big Bat tournament.
Oh, I know who you mean.
Can you tell us what happened that day?
I have to tell you what happened that week. If you can't play, you pitch. And I'm getting older, so I don't play, but I still pitch. And if you get old as a big bat pitcher, you're very lucky. Or very tough. But I take that burden on myself because I want to keep the game going forever. And that's how I do it, and I pitch for the police, and keeps us strong and healthy, and is part of the community, and she was just not built for it. And that doesn't keep you from enjoying it, but it kept her from being who she wanted to be. And I would think it was on the second or third day, there were people talking. Well, they said some things. They said some things about her, and I said, "Oh, that's not right. You know, you shouldn't do that." But they said, you know, she's just not built. She just doesn't have it. Maybe if she'd started younger or something. And I told them to stop, but I know she heard it. The next day, she was hot. I could tell she was high. I could tell she'd been drinking. She would bat for anyone who would pitch that day. And she would hit it harder and harder and harder. And just when I thought she couldn't hit it harder, she'd hit harder. And then she'd hit it harder. And then suddenly she'd redouble her strength, and it would go another five metrics, and then another 5 metrics until she was hitting 60, 61, 65, 70. The Goliath record is 82. And then she'd find 5 more metrics. And then she's batting a whole stadium, and finally she gritted her. I knew something had really snapped. Her eyes, they looked different at the last swing.
Reptilian, maybe?
No, like they were glowing, but we were out in the bright sun, so I couldn't tell if it was a cosmetic effect or if she was using magic just to hit harder, which is discouraged, but you know, the joke.
Is there a rule against it?
Some people have a game where magic is used. The idea is if you were in a contest, everyone will use magic or no one will. And in this case, it doesn't really matter, but I don't know if it was magic that caused her to do it before. We were quite happy to let her have her day in the sun, but just when I thought you couldn't hit the thing any harder, she spun herself to the ground. She spun in the air 3 times and landed on her back. I didn't see where the end of the bat went. I'll never find the apple. Some say it went 3 stadia. That's 100 metrics, each stadia.
Right.
And it all went silent. Like she'd given her secret away. And she was just gone. And it was almost like she disappeared from sight in front of us. She started to walk away, and I put down what I was holding, and when I turned back to go find her, she was gone. And no one's seen her since. Except, some people say that. But it's always the description's never quite right. I'm curious about her too. Bocarvy is worried. Now, The only thing is, chicken ball season is starting soon.
Chicken ball.
it's looked down on in some places, but chicken ball is a party game where you play Big Bad indoors, and you take bets on what will break and who gets injured, and the more damage you do to the bar, the more popular it is, and that's why they keep coming back, and that's why they relegated it to one season so we don't have to worry about apples flying through windows all the time. It's very, very funny, but I wouldn't be surprised if you hear a story of an apple going clean through a wall. I don't know what I saw that day, but I'm either going to see it again soon or never see it again ever. That's just how things have gone for me in this city. Have you looked at her place?
Not yet. We're headed there soon.
No, where is it?
Oh, it's on Splitter Walk, 3rd floor, 3rd underfloor. I mean.
Thank you, Dwarf. Take a look.
Do you have any of her... You said she just walked off. I imagine you collected her things, or did she take her things with her?
Her athletic bag was gone too.
Okay.
So he tells you where her house is, her home is, and you can go search that if you want to, or you can start an investigation of like who plays chicken ball.
I am going to attempt to get some of the other SALT team, maybe some of the Ocean City beat cops, to help me go try and find that apple.
That apple. All right. You send them to comb for it. You tell them to go about 3 stadia out and set them to that. And you're going to go check the apartment?
Yep.
All right. I'm looking at my Twitter so I can see what I called this. I came up with a name. The Jimmy Jam problem. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so you go to the apartment and you get to her door. You are legally pretty much secure opening it, but how do you open it? It's locked.
It's locked. All right.
Oh, it's locked.
Okay, well, first thing I'm going to do, and she's not a
We should knock.
rogue, but she is ex-military or current military. So the first thing she's going to do is she's going to make sure this thing is not rigged in some way, shape, or form.
There's no answer. And do you have the ability to detect traps? You do not. Okay.
No, I don't, because I'm a paladin, but the worst she can do is at least look, okay? I don't see any overt...
It's illegal to rig your front door. That's all I'll say.
Okay.
Can you imagine the lawsuits that would happen? Like, traps are a sticky, slippery problem in North Beach.
slippery slope.
Yeah.
All right, well, if she doesn't respond to the knock, Grim will pound on the door.
Nothing.
Constable, are you in there? We are coming in. And she does that classic enforcement move where she's going to kick the door in.
She kicks the door in? Awesome.
She kicks the door in and gets her crossbow out.
Yeah, I won't make you roll for that. Okay, you get inside, like, you kick it open and it's pitch dark in there. How many of you can see in the dark?
I can see in the dark.
I can.
Eurus, I know you can. Basically everyone except the judge can see in the dark here. You kick open the door and you're like, I can't see a thing. The rest of you see that it is a very big room. It's huge. Like, it's a hallway leading into a huge chamber to set it offset from the smaller apartments. Like, somebody went out of their way to build a secret, gigantic warehouse room. And in the middle of the floor is a pile up to your waist of poker chips and plaques. And there's other, like, tchotchkes around and like, you know, stuff on stands, and the ceiling is insanely high. There is, I mean, I won't make you, I'll tell you, it's so obvious that this is where a dragon's been hiding out.
Okay.
Oh.
And yeah, has been it would appear that this person has been turning into a dwarf, going to work, coming home, resuming form, which is where we get the Jimmy Jam problem. They would have to shrink themselves to get out of this room. The door is not physically big enough.
Right.
So, and it's like all casino tokens and plaques from all over town, but a lot of them are sports casinos. Oh, and you see a lot of Big Bat. Oh, yeah, and it's full of Big Bat paraphernalia and merch. It's full of it. It's everywhere. It's all over the walls. There's a poster of Homer, and it's like in loving memory, because he was murdered. Buckets and barrels of metal apples. There's a line of Big Bats, and you can see that 2 are missing from the rack. Like, it seems like some things have been taken from here, but only so much can be carried out because of the Jimmy Jam problem. Some of these objects couldn't possibly fit through the door, and that's a weird thing.
Well, but if she's actually a dragon, she can shrink things to bring them in and out.
But also you find a little box with her NPC medals on them. Just a few.
Okay.
Just a few. And a lot of the posters are in Draconic. Who can, read the situation supernaturally? Any of you?
What do you mean
Like,
supernatural?
These are spell slingers, yeah.
Oh,
Spell-
wait, our witch is gone, isn't she?
Yeah, our witch is gone, but
I
all right,
mean-
I'll say that she would tell you the sorrow in this room is unbearable. I have to stand outside.
Oh, wow.
I think that's the saddest I've ever felt something.
Next time on the gavel, the judge's cadre pick up the pieces of the mystery before a detour back to the ship for a solemn gathering, and Eurus must finally confront her mother. Soundtrack by Kevin MacLeod at Incompetech.com, and if you must know, you can find our Patreon at Montresor Media, and badger us on Twitter at We Are NPCs.